What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another Pokemon Challenge video. Today we are going to be seeing if you can beat Pokemon HeartGold with a new team after each gym. The rules for this challenge are going to be simple. I cannot use items in battle, HM Pokemon will be allowed as needed, and I can only use a maximum of 3 Pokemon per team. Let's get to it. So we start the game by picking the male character and naming him Mike, and then we pick up our starter Cyndaquil. On the way back from Mr. Pokemon, we run into a child with daddy issues and put him in his place rather quickly. After this, we begin to get yelled at by the police, to which we politely tell them that the thief's name is Sub to Me. Weird name, but you guys should probably do this while you're watching the video. Next, we beat up the elderly to learn Flash, and we're off to face Faulkner. He leads off with Pidgey as I use Quilava. 1 Ember takes it out, and he brings out Pidgeotto. After 3 Embers, he goes down, getting us our first badge. We pick up our next set of teammates, which is going to be a Mareep and a Bellsprout, and then it's off to Azalea. We beat up Team Rocket and we start the fight with Bugsy. Bugsy leads off with Scyther as we send out Bellsprout. We go for the Stun Spore and he uses U-turn to bring out Metapod. We get taken down next turn by Metapod, so out comes Flaffy, and we take down Metapod with 2 Thunder Shocks. Next in is his Scyther, who goes down to 2 Thunder Shocks as well, and Kakuna the same way, picking up our second badge. Our next team is a Magikarp, Rattata, and Geodude, and we are ready to take on Whitney. She leads off with Clefairy as we start with Rattata. We go for Hyper Fang, which almost KOs as she goes for Double Slap. She heals next turn and we bring her down with another Hyper Fang, followed by a Bite for the KO. Out next is her Miltank, which wrecks Rattata with a Stomp. We send out Geodude next, and after several turns of using Magnitude, we take out Miltank to pick up the 3rd badge. For our next team, we go with a Drowsy and a Hoot Hoot, and we're off to face Morty. Morty leads with Ghastly, and we send out Drowsy. Ghastly goes for Spite, which does nothing, and we take it out with a single Confusion. Out next is Haunter, who puts us to sleep and sets up a Nightmare, but we wake up next turn to hit a Confusion for over half. We get put to sleep again and hit with a Nightmare, and the following turn he uses Curse and KOs himself. Gengar is next, so we switch out to Noctowl, and after several back and forth turns of being put to sleep and trading blows, we take him out with one last Confusion for him to bring out his last Haunter. We keep Noctowl in and hit him with a Confusion as he sets up Curse and lives with low health. Morty heals up with a Hyper Potion as we start to trade hits with Confusion and healing with Roost as needed. After a few turns, we take him down with a Confusion to pick up the 4th badge. Our next set of Pokemon is Goldeen, Zubat, and Magnemite, and we're ready to take on Chuck. Chuck leads off with Primeape as we lead with Golbat. He goes for a double team as we hit with a Wing Attack for good damage. Next turn we are hit hard with a Rock Slide and take him out with another Wing Attack. Out next is Poliwrath and we swap out for Magnemite. He hits us hard with a Surf as we paralyze him. Next turn we hit him with Spark for decent damage and are then taken out by another Surf. We send out Goldeen next to try and get a couple of damaging hits in with Horn Attack and are eventually taken down with 2 Body Slams. We bring Golbat back out and finish him off with another Wing Attack, barely earning ourselves the 5th badge. Our next team is a Tentacruel, Tauros, and Machop. After curing Ampharos in the Lighthouse, we're ready to take on Jasmine. She leads off with Magnemite and myself with Machoke. We get paralyzed, but 1 Vital Throw is enough to KO. Our next Magnemite hits us with decent damage with Thunderbolt, but suffers the same fate as the first. Out last is Steelix, so we send Tauros out to get the Intimidate off and do a small chunk of damage, but it is taken out after Iron Tail and another Rock Throw. We send out Machoke next, who goes for Vital Throw, which did minimal damage, and are taken out the following turn with an Iron Tail. We send out Tentacruel, and 2 Surfs are enough to take down Steelix and earn ourselves the 6th badge. For our next team we go with Kingler, Gloom, and Stantler. We stop Team Rocket with the help of Lance, and then we are ready to take on Price. Price leads off with Seal and us with Gloom. We use Mega Drain as he sets up Hail. We go for another Mega Drain as he hits us with Icy Wind. Next turn he heals up with a Hyper Potion and we continue to use Mega Drain. He goes for rest multiple times, but we're eventually able to bring down Seal. Out next is his Piloswine, so we send out Stantler. We cut his attack with Intimidate and go for an Iron Tail, but miss as he sets up Hail. We hit him with Iron Tail for great damage, but heals with a Citrus Berry. We are hit by a Blizzard for massive damage and are taken out next turn with another Blizzard. We send out Kingler, who finishes Piloswine with a Metal Claw, and out next is Dugong. We try to set up a Stun Spore, but we are taken out in one hit by a crit Aurora Beam. So we bring Kingler back out and go for Stomp for decent damage. We do this for a couple more turns and he rests back to full health. So we go for the Metal Claw, get the attack boost, and 2 stomps later we earn our 7th badge. Our next team is Pharaoh, Golduck, and Nidorina. Before we can take on the last gym, we have to save Goldenrod from Team Rocket, but before that we have to face our rival. So he leads off with Golbat and us with Golduck. We take him out with 2 Surfs, and out next is his Magnemite, who goes down with just 1 Surf. Haunter goes down with 2 Confusions after this, and next up is Feraligatr. We send out Nidorina to be death fodder to get some small damage in, and are taken out in 2 Thrashes. We send Pharaoh out and manage to get off 2 Aerial Aces as he misses twice with Ice Fang. He freezes us on the 3rd one, and we are taken out after that. Golduck then comes in and finishes the job with 2 Confusions. His final Pokemon is Sneasel. We manage to take him out with 2 Surfs as he leaves us with only 5 HP. We then face the acting leader of Team Rocket, Archer, who is the easiest fight in this game. We take out Houndour and Houndoom with 1 single Surf and Coughing with 2 Confusions, and then he disbands Team Rocket in shame. We start the fight with Claire next. She leads off with Gyarados as we send out Nidorina. We get hit with a Dragon Rage but take Gyarados out with 1 Thunder. Next out is Dragonair, so we swap for Pharaoh. We almost take it out in 1 hit with Fly, and then she paralyzes us the next turn. She heals up with a Hyper Potion and we take her out with 2 Aerial Aces. She sends out another Dragonair and we manage to get in 1 Aerial Ace for half health before getting taken out. We bring out Golduck, who finishes Dragonair off with a Blizzard. She brings out her final Pokemon, Kingdra. We swap out for Nidorina and go for a Thunder, but it doesn't do much damage before we get taken out by a Dragon Pulse. We bring Golduck back out and manage to freeze Kingdra with a Blizzard. We go for a Confusion to get a little bit of extra damage to keep her out of healing range, and finish her off with a crit Blizzard for the win. She won't give us the badge just yet until we talk to the village elders, so they tell her we're better than she is, and she gives us our 8th badge, and it's time to pick up the final team before the Elite Four. We pick up Dratini, Swinub, and Ho-Oh, and we're off to claim our title. We're stopped first by our rival, and he wants to battle us again for some reason, so we show him what death looks like, and I destroy his team with Ho-Oh. Sacred Fire takes out Sneasel, Feraligatr is taken out by 2 extra sensories, Magneton is down with Sacred Fire, Haunter goes down with extra sensory, Kadabra with Sacred Fire, and Golbat with another extra sensory. And now it's Elite Four time. Up first is Will, and I'm not going to beat around the bush with this. I swept his entire team with Shadow Ball. Next up is Koga, and similar to the first fight, I sweep his team with extra sensory. Only exception to this was Fortress, who went down with a Sacred Fire. Next up is Bruno, and again, extra sensory sweeps his entire team. Up next is the Queen of all Karens. Umbreon goes down with a Fly. We swap out for Dragonair and Murkrow gets taken down with Thunder. Ho-Oh comes back out and takes Houndoom with 1 Fly. Gengar goes down with extra sensory, and Vileplume the same way. And finally we have Lance. This is what took forever. Gyarados is out first as we lead with Dragonair. We go for Thunder, which takes it out in 1 hit. Out next is Dragonite and we swap into Piloswine. We are hit hard with Dragon Rush but do good damage with Icy Wind to get the speed reduction. Next turn we take it out with another Icy Wind. Charizard is next, so we bring out Ho-Oh and take it down with one Fly. We swap back into Dragonair to take on Aerodactyl next. We hit Surf for great damage as we get hit with Rock Slide. He swaps out next turn for Dragonite, who tanks our Surf like a beast, and we are taken out next turn by a Blizzard. We bring out Piloswine, and luckily he misses with Dragon Rush, and we hit hard with Icy Wind. He heals next turn with a full restore, but we are faster now, so 2 more Icy Winds finishes it off. He sends out his mother of all Dragonites next, and it takes out Piloswine with Outrage, and we bring out Ho-Oh. We hit him hard with Fly, which brings him down to low health, and he heals up with a Citrus Berry. He hits himself with Confusion and gets healed to full health next turn. We hit hard with another Fly, which brings him to low health. He swaps out to Aerodactyl next, which goes down with 1 extra sensory, and then brings Dragonite back out to heal to full health again. We crit him down to low health with extra sensory, and he heals yet again, but 1 more extra sensory and a Fly is enough to take down the champion and claim our birthright. Now that we have taken down all the gym leaders in Johto and conquered the Elite Four, we only have one thing left to do. And that's to do all of this all over again. So for our next team, we use Sandslash, Furret, and Abra. First up is Brock. Brock leads off with Graveler and us with Furret. We take down Graveler with 1 Surf, and out next is Rhyhorn. We stay in and 1 Surf brings it down as well. Next out is Onix, and you know the drill. Out next is Kabutops, so we stay in with Furret, and for some reason I play like the AI and I go for 2 Amnesias before I get dropped. I send out Sandslash next, who does great damage with Dig, and after several turns of using Dig and Brock healing with full restores, we finally take out Kabutops. His final Pokemon is Lord Helix himself. So we stay in and go for Dig, which does decent damage before we're taken out with Brine. We bring out Kadabra. He survives 1 turn due to Protect, but we take him down next with Psychic, obtaining our 9th badge. Our next team is Metapod, Pidgey, and Snorlax, and it's now time to take on Misty. We lead off with Snorlax as she sends out Golduck. We go for Strength, which does decent damage, and after 2, she heals with a full restore. She ends up disabling Strength, and we go for Crunch, and 2 of those are enough to KO. Out next is Quagsire. We go for 2 crunches and finish it off with a Giga Impact. Our next Pokemon is Lapras. We hit 2 strengths and then take it out with a Giga Impact as well. Our final Pokemon is Starmie, and we finish it off with 3 crunches, hanging on with 13 HP, earning ourselves our 10th badge. Our next team we go with Slakoth, Oddish, and Mankey. Normally I don't use the same Pokemon twice, but this video took so long to finish I completely forgot I had used Gloom already. So, we lead with Gloom as he sends out Raichu. I set up Poison Powder as he uses Double Team. I start to work him down with Acid and he eventually full restores. So I set up Poison Powder again and start healing with Giga Drain. 2 Giga Drains are enough to bring him down to critical health, and we heal up with Moonlight as he falls to poison damage. Next out is Electrode, and same as Raichu, he goes for Double Team as I set up Poison Powder. He just sets up more Double Teams and Light Screens as I miss several attacks, but he eventually falls to poison damage. Next up is Electabuzz. He hits with Quick Attack and we go for Poison Powder. He continues using nothing but Quick Attack as we are wearing him down with Acid and Poison damage. We get him down to low health, and 2 Giga Drains and Poison damage brings it down. His next Pokemon is another Electrode, and you know the drill. We set up Poison Powder, Moonlight to full health, start to chip him down with poison damage, and he rage quits and blows himself up, taking out Gloom. His final Pokemon is Magneton. We bring out Primeape, who takes him down with 1 Cross Chop, earning us the 11th badge. Our next team is a Chinchou, Cubone, and Jigglytuff, and we're off to take on Erica. Erica leads off with Jumpluff as we lead with Wigglytuff. She uses U-turn as we go for the Body Slam on the Victory Bell that comes out, and we get off the Paralysis. Next turn it goes down to Fire Blast, and out comes Blossom. We go for Body Slam and get the Paralysis off yet again. We hit with Fire Blast and it almost KOs, but she heals up with a Citrus Berry followed by Synthesis. We go for Hyper Voice. Next turn as she sets up Sunny Day and one Fire Blast takes her out. Jumpluff is out next and goes down to one Fire Blast as well. Tangela is out next and takes us out with 2 Giga Drains. We send Marowak out, who does great damage with Fire Blast, but is not enough, and we get taken out next turn with Giga Drain. We bring out our final Pokemon Lantern next, who hits hard with a Signal Beam. She heals with a full restore twice, and 2 final Signal Beams gets us the 12th badge. We catch our next 3 Pokemon, Plusle, Slugma, and Minun, and it's time to take on Janine. She leads off with Crobat as we lead with Magcargo. We go for Rock Slide, which does good damage as we take a wing attack, no problem. Next turn we get confused and end up missing with Rock Slide. We then hit ourselves in confusion as we take 2 more wing attacks. We get another Rock Slide off, but it doesn't quite finish her off and she heals with a full restore. 2 more Rock Slides are enough to KO, and we stay in and manage to take a Sludge Bomb and get off a Recover. We take another Sludge Bomb and get poisoned, but manage to hit with Lava Plume and get the burn off. We recover again and tank an Explosion, which finishes off Weezing. Out next is Ariados, who takes us down with a Psychic. We bring out Plusle. We take Ariados with 2 Thunders after getting the Paralysis off with the first one. She brings out another Ariados, who goes down with 2 Thunders as well after hitting us hard with Poison Jab. Venomoth is out next and takes us down with Psychic, and now it's up to Minun. Thankfully, Venomoth goes for Double Team and we hit with Thunder. We take a hard hitting Sludge Bomb next turn and manage to hit another Thunder for the KO, earning us the 13th badge. So for our next gym, we catch ourselves a single Absol and we're ready to take on Sabrina. Sabrina leads off with Espeon, who uses Skill Swap, and we set up a Swords Dance. She goes for Calm Mind as we take her down with a single Bite. Next out is Alakazam, who sets up a Reflect as we go for Bite for huge damage. She heals up with a Citrus Berry, hits us hard with an Energy Ball, and we take her down next turn with another Bite. Our final Pokemon is Mr. Mime, and we try to use our newly learned Sucker Punch, which fails twice as she just sets up defenses. Next turn we hit with a Bite for huge damage as she goes for Skill Swap. She heals with a full restore, but 1 more Bite finishes her off due to Reflect wearing off, earning us the 14th badge. We get our next set of Pokemon, an Onix and a Shinx, and we head to take on Blaine. Blaine leads with Magcargo as we lead with Onix. We hit with Rock Slide as he sets up Sunny Day. We go for a Dig next turn, which takes it down. He then sends out Magmar next as we swap out for Luxray. He misses with Overheat and we hit it with Spark. He hits with Overheat next turn and we hang on with just 1 HP due to our Focus Sash as we hit him with Thunderfang. He takes us out next turn and we bring out Onix. He uses Confuse Ray on us and we manage to get through it and take it down with Rock Slide. His final Pokemon Rapidash is next. It goes for Bounce as we go for Dig. It misses the hit as we do little over half damage with it. It goes for Bounce 1 more time and us for Dig, and just like before it misses and we take down Blaine for the 15th gym badge. So for our next team we go on a hunt. We catch Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, and we go to take on Blue. Blue leads off with Exeggutor as we send out Entei. We take it down with 1 Flamethrower and he brings out Rhydon. We swap out for Suicune and take it down with 1 Surf. Next is Machamp and we swap back into Entei. We go for Flamethrower, which does a fair amount as we're hit hard with an Earthquake. We get off 1 more Flamethrower and we are taken out next turn by a Stone Edge. We send out Suicune, who takes it down with a Waterfall. Next out is his Arcanine, and we stay in and go for the Rain Dance. He uses Flare Blitz, which does little damage, and we take him down next turn with 1 Surf. Next out is Gyarados, and we swap into Raikou and take him down with just 1 Shockwave. His final Pokemon is Pidgeot, and we go for Thunderfang, which does small damage and are hit hard with a return. We use Shockwave next, which brings it to red health, but he heals up with a Citrus Berry, and we're taken out with another return. We bring Suicune back out, and we finish it off with a critical hit Surf to pick up our 16th gym badge, and only 1 fight to go. For our final battle, we pick up Mewtwo, Lugia, and Larvitar, and it's time for Red. Red leads with Pikachu as we send out Mewtwo. We take Pikachu out with one Psychic, and out next is Snorlax. We swap into Tyranitar and go for Earthquakes and Stone Edge to get in some good damage, and we get him down to critical health before he takes us out, and we finish him off with Sandstorm damage. Next out is Blastoise, so we bring Mewtwo back in. I hit him with Thunder for good damage as he hits us with Blizzard, and a Psychic is enough to finish him off. Next out is his Venusaur, and we switch into Lugia. We go for Fly as he misses Sleep Powder, and we hit him for over half as he goes for Sludge Bomb. We go for Fly to finish him off, but the Sandstorm brings him down just into healing range, so he heals up with a full restore. Another Fly brings him down to under half, and one more Fly finishes him off. Next out is Lapras, and we bring back Mewtwo. We go for Thunder, which does over half, and he misses with Blizzard, and one more Thunder brings it down. His final Pokemon is Charizard, and we stay in with Mewtwo. We go for Thunder, which does massive damage and paralyzes him, and he gets fully paralyzed on his turn, full restores. Then we hit with a Psychic for decent damage, and then we finish him off with one more Thunder to finish the game. This was a very enjoyable playthrough. I definitely enjoyed this one a little bit more than my Alta Red run, but that is mostly just due in part to being able to play with a lot more Pokemon. These runs are always fun, and I definitely recommend them to you if you're going to try them out. They are very grindy and time consuming, especially in a game with 16 gyms. But, as always, I thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments what game you would like to see me do next, and I will see you next time.